Watch out for the bad leaders. I want to do a leadership analysis on much of what has occurred this weekend in response to the Trump assassination attempt. I want to do it from a leadership perspective. You're going to see everything on tactics to political opinion to motives to everything that's going on here, and I want to remind you, just like I did in my other reflection, about the blame game. So that's part of what goes into this leadership analysis. If you look at, for example, Donald Trump, and I'm not claiming either side of the aisle, just an analysis as objectively as I can on leadership, releases his statement, the former president who was shot in the ear. And his statement, of course, discusses the event. It's simple, it's sweet, it's a long paragraph, and he jumps in very quickly to not making it about himself, but giving condolences to the families of the man who was killed and the other person who was shot. That's incredible that he makes it not about himself. That is a leadership statement. He continues to go down and talk about gratefulness and thankfulness to all of the people surrounding that were helping him recover and how he's going to be okay. Described a little bit of the actual event with the pain and what happened to his ear. And then he ends his simple statement with God bless America. Again, a statement that is supposed to motivate and unify people. That is really important and very different than much of the leaders around the country. Other leaders, like unfortunately Joe Biden in this case, our president, gave a 6.5 minute speech in response to the event. Now, he did some things very well in this speech. He tried to be as professional as possible, even though still there's stuttering, a lack of charisma, a lack of an enduring quality. One of the highest components of a leader is people can tell if they genuinely care or not. There was a lack of care in his speech. It was very robotic and programmed. Some of the right things were said as far as the condolences as well to the family. Definitely a wanting of everything to die down in the country. The emphasis just was redundant beyond a degree about not wanting violence, which I completely agree with, but you're beating a dead horse at this point. But here's the really kind of twisted part. This is the sign of a very weak, very selfish leader. And selfishness is the opposite of what you're supposed to be as leader. A servant, a selfless servant. That is the platform that all the 7 principles of leadership are involved on. He immediately turns the event around to him and his party, comparing all of the other acts of violence, all the other statements that have occurred against other Democratic people, and the only Republican that he mentions is Donald Trump. He should have, as a leader, made a concise statement completely going against anything related to a supporting idea of what would make this occur. He should have condemned it all. Anybody that supports this, anybody that's making these negative comments, he should have condemned everything, kept it sweet, asked for unification in the country, and expressed genuine care. But instead, he had to flip it. He had to make it about him and his party and political issues. That is weakness. That is selfishness. That is poor leadership. Look for the leaders that are going to make this about them. There are other examples of various news outlets where they're trying to say that Donald Trump caused this to himself. He is the party of violence, and he has called for all of these actions. Well, both sides of the aisle have done things that are stupid statements, stupid actions, but without a doubt, if you look at the history, there is a specific vein, a type of person that follows a specific type of leader that acts out like this. And Thomas Crooks is one of those people. The Democrat Party has a lot of those people. The leaders in the situation that try to blame the victim, they're the first people that in a, let's say, a sexual assault of a woman would just absolutely beat up and tear apart anybody that in any way tried to blame the victim. Now we have an assassination attempt, the public murder of a former president, and they're trying to blame the president for the knucklehead, the idiot, the insane person that shot at him. Leaders all across the political parties, all across the sections that are going to be investigating this really need to button up and pay attention to how you respond to an incident. The leadership that failed Kimberly should resign immediately. This is her failing 100%. Sorry about your luck. You're at the top of the Secret Service game. The buck stops here. You allowed a president to be shot. You're done. You're out the door. Resign immediately. Replace them with somebody competent that's going to take the security details more seriously. So as a leadership analysis, I want you to, again, look at the people who do not express any care. Look at the people that turn around and flip it and make it about them. Look at the people that try to muddy the issues and bring in other political parties instead of staying focused on the event. And look at the people about how they do or do not take accountability for their failures. That's how you're going to watch the rest of this event unfold over the next week or month. And I'll keep you updated on other leadership insights throughout this entire unfolding scenario.